Hello, welcome back. It is week 5 of this. Week 5 of The Vault. The Vault is a series where I just talk about something that I think is interesting. A video game or a movie or something, or a monument or a historical figure or a product or something. I do my makeup, like get ready for a shoot, ready to go out or craft, and I just talk about it and share something that I think is interesting. So this week's episode, I cannot even pretend like I did not get the idea from my annual rewatch of Bob's Burgers. I love Bob's Burgers. It's my non-serious go-to show. Like Criminal Minds is I can watch something serious and scary for 20 days, 20 hours straight, and Bob's Burgers is my cute, funny, fun one. I also want to say that the dogs are sleeping, so if you hear snoring in the background, I'm not waking them up to move them so I can do this video. So you're just gonna have to deal with the surround sound here. So the specific episode that I'm talking about, and I'm sure you've guessed it by the name of the video, but the episode that I'm talking about is the one where Louise has to do a science project, and she has her volcano already, but the teacher, it's a new teacher, and he crushes her volcano and then says that she has to do a project on Thomas Edison. She goes to the library. The librarian tells her that she needs to do something about Topsy the elephant. So this video is going to be about Topsy the elephant. Now a quick side note about elephants. I don't know a whole lot about elephants. All of what I do know about elephants, I learned when I worked at Busch Gardens in Tampa. I worked on a ride called Rhino Rally, where we drove like these big Jeeps. We couldn't call them Jeeps, but the big trucks. And, you ride it around some animal enclosures and act like you're seeing animals on a safari. And the zookeepers that we used to see all the time told me that Asian elephants are usually the ones kept in a zoo, because Asian elephants are significantly less aggressive than Asian elephants. I mean, obviously, like people, each elephant is going to be different, but as a whole, Asian elephants are apparently less aggressive than African elephants. If you can't tell if the elephant you're looking at is Asian or African, look at the ears. The African elephants will have large ears that look like, if you cross your eyes a little bit, they look kind of like the continent of Africa. And Asian elephants have ears that are not huge compared to the size of their head. So I also want to say that because this is about Topsy the elephant, this episode is about an animal getting killed horribly. Like absolutely terribly horribly. I almost didn't do the episode when I found out some of the details about her, but it sounds stupid, but I don't know, I just feel like people need to know about Topsy, because maybe if they know about Topsy, they will, think twice about the next time they go to a circus or go to one of those like sideshow animal parks and stuff like that. Like animals in circuses are not treated well, but that's a whole other rant for another video. I just want to do right by Topsy, basically. So there's gonna be some gross graphic discussion about how she died in this video. I'm probably gonna swear, because people who would do this to an elephant are terrible people, and that's just a heads up. Probably don't want the kiddos to hear this. Definitely don't use it for a school project, and definitely do not listen to it anywhere near a library. So, Topsy. Topsy was an Asian elephant who was born around 1875 in Asia. She was smuggled into the US and falsely advertised as the first elephant born in the US. Blatant lie. And she wound up debuting at Forepaugh Circus. She was with them for a while. She did pretty well, for circus. There weren't really any incidents. She was popular. Everybody loved the elephants. But in 1902, I had to look up the exact year, 1902, there was an incident. She got her first ding as an elephant because there was a guy who, I'm not even going to grace his name. There was a spectator who got drunk, and he wound up backstage, or whatever it's called at a zoo, backstage, where the elephants were all being kept. And he was harassing all of the elephants, all of them, and like hitting them and shouting at them. And as any pet owner, especially cat owner, will tell you, if an animal doesn't like something that you're doing to it, it's gonna find a way to make you stop. It's gonna let you know, knock it the fuck off. So when an elephant tells you knock it the fuck off, it comes in the form of sitting on you. So Topsy sat on this man because he took a lit cigar, he had a lit cigar in his mouth, and he started burning the end of her trunk, like the soft part. Now you gotta think about it, an elephant uses their trunk for everything. They eat with it, they drink with it, and they use it to communicate with other elephants. And he's just sitting there burning the sensitive part at the end. So, yeah, of course she, you know, found a way to make him stop. But because it's 1902, it was her fault. And she got like a ding on her record. And so her rep wasn't great, but she still immediately got sold off. Forepaugh Circus was not going to have a killer elephant on their roster. So they sold her off to Sea Lion Park, which was on Coney Island. And then she became a fixture there. Now, not much longer after this happened, Sea Lion Park became Luna Park. It was really kind of the same thing. Still on Coney Island. And now, though, it was owned by Frederic, Thompson, and Elmer Dundy. And, of course, this is 1902. These guys are team money. That's all they care about is money. And she has a handler named William Alt. And he's also a drunk jackass. But by all accounts, he actually did love Topsy. We'll get into that later. But he also was a drunk ass, so he staged a lot of stunts with her because he was an elephant handler. So there was two really notable incidents with William Alt and Topsy. The first one was he wanted to show off. So he takes Topsy and he basically just like takes her for a fucking walk. Like, hi, this is me and this is my elephant. You know, aren't I cool? I have an elephant. And of course, I mean, Topsy's an elephant, so she's only gonna listen to him so much. And so the police get called and William Alt sees the cops coming and he like drops her lead and just runs and just books it. So Topsy's just in the middle of the fucking street. Her handler is running off down the road. The cops are running after him. And the whole thing goes down as a ding against Topsy. So, yeah. Ding number 1 against Topsy. But that's not so bad, right? It's only 2 things, you know. How bad could it be? Well, the second big stunt that he decides he's gonna do, this moron decides that he is going to ride Topsy, a full-size elephant, into the police station. Like, he is gonna get on this elephant, get on her, and ride her into a police station for shits and giggles. So this again goes against Topsy, even though like she's just doing what she's told. Mostly doing what she's told. So Frederic and Elmer, the owners, decide that she's gotten to be too much of a problem. Because now the police are getting involved and it's her, she's a liability. She's not doing enough for the park to be worth holding on to her. So they decide that they're going to sell her. Okay, I think it's stupid, but I get it, you know. And everything that I found says that they did actually really look for someone to try to buy her. And then when no one would buy her, they tried to find a circus or somebody that would take her. But because she had killed somebody, I think in the police station incident, she also killed somebody. I'm not 100% sure, and I don't have a name for that one. But I'm pretty sure this is like 2 or 3 deaths in between all of these incidents. So nobody wants an elephant that kills people, right? Well, Frederic and Elmer also don't want an elephant that kills people. So, and this is where things get really bad description-wise. So if it bothers you to hear about animals being killed or anything like that, this is probably where you want to stop listening, because this is gross. Like, this was really gross with these guys, and it's bad. So if you don't want to hear me talk about how this poor elephant was killed, then I'm gonna like kind of ramble on for a little bit and give you a chance to either shut down YouTube or go watch one of my other videos. Like, this is gonna be disgusting. So, giving you a couple extra seconds to go if you don't want to hear about it. Alright. So, Frederic and Elmer are done with Topsy. They're done with it. They can't deal with her. So they decide that they are going to hang Topsy. They're going to kill her. And while they're at it, they're going to sell tickets. So people can pay, I think it was going to be like 25 cents, but keep in mind this is 1902. People are going to pay 25 cents and come watch them kill an elephant. So this is where I learned that the ASPCA, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, was founded in 1866. So they've already been around for over 35 years at this point. And they find out about this little stunt and they say, no, you can't do this. You can't do it like this. You can't hang her, and if you do kill her, you can't sell tickets. You can't like just execute her in front of the public. So obviously Frederic and Elmer are not super stoked about this, but they work with the ASPCA and they come to a compromise, really shitty compromise, that they won't sell tickets to it. Only select members of the press and like specific prestigious invited guests will be there. So it's not going to be a public spectacle. And they agree to, instead of hang her, because the ASPCA says that hanging her would be unnecessarily cruel, they agree that they will use a steam-powered winch and they will strangle her instead. And just as a backup, they will use electricity and poison, but only as backups. So it's agreed to by both parties that she is going to get strangled instead of hanged, and they're gonna limit the guests, and it's all gonna be fine. So they all decide, the ASPCA and Elmer and Frederic decide that she is going to die on January 4th, 1903. They have this special platform built in the middle of Luna Park. There was some construction going on for an attraction, and so part of the tower is done for that attraction. So they're gonna kill her right in front of this tower. And they like reroute power from substations and everything. And they have 2 copper, they call them sandals. They go on her feet. One's gonna go on her one of her front feet, and then the other one's gonna go on her opposite back foot. So it forces the current through her. And so they have this all set up. And then there is, to get to this, it's like a little island in the middle of the park. So she has to walk like over this little bridge thing to get to this platform. And let me tell you, you know how animals just kind of know something is up? I am convinced that Topsy knew that she was gonna die, or she knew she was gonna get hurt. So she wouldn't even cross the little bridge that led to the platform. Like, she just stopped. And they asked William Alt to try to bring her across the bridge. And he refused to. They gave him, I forgot how much they offered, but he said that he wouldn't lead her to the platform even for $1,000, which $1,000 in 1903 was a lot of money. I mean, 1,000, well, for some people 1,000 is a lot now. He said he would turn down $1,000 to lead this elephant to her death. So I believe the rumors that he actually did care about her. I mean, of course, if he really, really cared about her, he wouldn't have got her in this shitty position to begin with. But he would not help them at all. He was like, nope, find someone else to do it. So because they couldn't get her to move, they decide, well, we're going to take death to her. So they moved as much as they could with the wiring and everything like that. And they get her like set up on this platform. She's being completely uncooperative because, like I said, animals know when something's wrong. And like they're all like put out and stuff because they have to move all this stuff. And so it takes them a while to set this up, which, I mean, makes sense, right? And so they feed her veggies. They laced veggies with potassium cyanide. So they gave her a whole bunch of veggies. You know, she's probably thinking, hey, you know, this is pretty great. I get veggies. So they feed her the veggies and they give a couple of minutes, like, so the food can actually like hit her digestive system and actually get processed. And then they send the signal at 2:45 to the station. And so they flip the switch at the station at 2:45, and approximately 6,600 volts are sent through this elephant's body. 6,600 volts are sent through this elephant's body. And when that is done, they, for good measure, or whatever you want to say, they tighten the ropes on the winch and cut off her air. And so at 2:47, when all this has been done, somebody from the ASPCA, and that's a lot of makeup, someone from the ASPCA and some veterinarians examine her, and they declare her dead at 2:47, and the official cause of death was the electrocution. So Topsy the elephant was executed at 2:45 on January 4th, 1903. Because she murdered someone, and everybody says she murdered somebody. In reality, she was defending herself against someone who was harming her, and then she was led down the street like a rampaging elephant, and then hurt two people, killed two people. So 2:45, technically 2:47 was when she was declared dead then. So yeah. And like I said, they confirmed that it was the electricity that killed her. Now this is where things get messy. So if you've seen that episode of Bob's Burgers, you know that Louise did this project as part of her Thomas Edison project. But did Thomas Edison actually have anything to do with it? I had to know. So I read more. And it turns out there was a film crew there from the Edison Film Company. So, okay, Edison Film Company, that's gotta be him, right? That's totally him. And then they filmed it, and they were the ones who did the executing an elephant. And it was released to be viewed on Edison kinetoscopes. Edison. But the ironic part was that the park where this happened didn't even have any of those kinetoscopes. So people who went to Luna Park could not watch the Topsy video because there was nothing there to watch it on. And popular belief, this is where I was kind of scratching my head a little bit. Popular belief is that Topsy was killed as part of the War of Currents like electricity. There was a debate for a while on AC, alternating current, and DC, which is direct current. And there was a lot of debate as far as which one was better, which one was more dangerous, which one should be used, all this, that, and the other thing. And a lot of people put Edison in on that debate. The problem with that, though, is, remember, the Topsy thing happened in 1903. Like, she literally died January 4th, 1903. And everything that I have found, every single source that I have found, says that the War of Currents happened in the 1880s and 1890s. 10 to 20 years before Topsy. Like, Topsy was still with Forepaugh Circus when this was happening, if that's when it happened. So that seemed kind of odd to me. I was like, well, maybe it was something else. So I looked more into the War of Currents, and all of the dates that I found said that it did last about a decade, but that it went between 1880 and 1890. Furthermore, Thomas Edison was forced out of control of his own company in 1892. So he does not even have control of his company as of 1892, 10 years before all of this. Okay. That was weird. So I looked more into him. Not only was he forced out of control, but he sold all of his stock in the late 1890s to go completely focus on another project. So that kind of was for me. Like, he wasn't even in control of any company that might have been involved with Topsy. So I did more digging, and it turns out no one has any record of him even being at Luna Park that day. So, like, not only did he not kill her, he wasn't even there that day. Like, he didn't even watch her die. Sorry, eyelash is the worst part. And there's also no record that he had any discussion on, or input regarding the death of Topsy. So when it comes down to it, as far as everything that I can find, Thomas Edison did not kill Topsy. This was completely, the only credit, if you want to call it that, goes to Frederic, Thompson, and Elmer Dundy. The people who were saddled with her and then decided that she was a problem and didn't want her anymore, so they decided to kill her. And it's really kind of sad because, like, I had never heard of this before, literally until Bob's Burgers. And then I thought because it was Bob's Burgers, it was made up. So, like, a lot of people don't know about Topsy. She basically fell into obscurity, like, after it happened. And then I was looking to see, like, if there's anything that references her, anything at all. And it turns out that there was a 1991 film from a documentary maker named Rick Burns, and it was called Coney Island. And there is a segment on Topsy, including parts of the original film. So the original film that I'm talking about is her getting, like, strapped up with the sandal on, and them flipping the switch and killing her. And like I said, the film is called Executing an Elephant. She's been, vaguely referenced on a couple of shows, Bob's Burgers. She's been referenced in a couple of movies, all that. The film is available to watch online. I haven't watched it. I refuse to watch it. I do want to say, if you watch this video and you decide that you want to watch that video, it is, like, you see her die. You see her die and fall over. It's really, really sad. I've seen a couple of stills from it, and I couldn't watch the whole video because it's literally an animal that people just got tired of, and instead of them trying to work with her or do anything, they just got rid of her. They just killed her. Like, fuck this elephant. Let's just kill her and charge for it. I mean, at least they didn't charge for it, but it's gonna be, I promise I'm not gonna do too many of these sad stories, but, like, I teared up a little bit reading about her, and I wasn't sure. I was afraid I might tear up during this video, and I don't really have anything to add to this. Like, literally all I can say is that Topsy was probably a pretty normal elephant. If she'd had the better fortune of being born maybe 100 years later, she would have had handlers that would work with her, at least a handler that would not ride her down the street and try to go into a police station. I don't really know if there's anything that could be learned from this, except I don't have anything else to say, really. So, I'm glad that we've gotten better than that with our treatment of animals, and I hope this video didn't make you too sad. Next week's will be much better, much less sad. Have a good day. I hope you rock it.